This is Let's Talk Business with your hosts, Mark Ebinger and Heather Bain. Now, here's Mark.
Welcome to Let's Talk Business, the show that talks entrepreneurship with some of the best businesses in the San Antonio area. Coming up on the show today, we're going to talk with Corey Connerly and Andre Woodard with the San Antonio alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Very well dressed, I might add.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. So, this is everybody's wearing red. Mm-hmm. Is there a story behind the red jacket?
There is.
Can you give it to me real quick, like real short?
Well, just colors. The jacket is just business, right? Men of Achievement. Men of Achievements normally wear sports coats, and the color is crimson. For our official colors, crimson and cream. All
right, love it. In studio with us today is Heather Bain, a certified business coach that works with business owners to gain clarity and achieve their goals. Heather, welcome back to the show.
Always glad to be here.
And I'm your host, Mark Ebinger of Krukus Marketing Agency, a company that specializes in giving small businesses a competitive edge by hiring low-cost virtual administrative specialists from outside the United States, which that's really how I built my entire 24 full-time employees for just a little guy like me. You know what I mean? It's kind of nice to be able to get that leverage. A quick reminder for our listeners, you can catch video and podcast versions of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. And if you're a business owner in the San Antonio area and like to have your company featured on the show, visit our website at satalkradio.com or call our office at 210-879-8804. That's 210-879-8804. All right, so you guys are very active in your community, right? And so I wanted to kind of open up the podcast with the discussion about how important it is for business owners to be actively involved in their community. Heather, what are your initial thoughts on like why a business owner should at least consider getting involved in some level with their business in the community?
Well, I think there's the obvious reasons, giving back and being able to utilize your business, not just for your own personal gain, but for your community is huge. I know people get into business for a lot of different ways, but even if you're just looking at it from a business perspective, I know San Antonio is a super relational city. Most people here want to work with businesses that they know, like, and trust, and they want to work with people that have been around long enough that they know they're going to stay. So it's almost a requirement in this city to be involved in your community in some way.
Yeah, and Andre, I don't know if you can, I imagine it'd be okay to name some businesses that you guys are working with in the area, but when you start partnering with companies in the community here, it's a special feeling, right? You guys are coming together, working together for a specific purpose. What are your thoughts there as far as like give me an example of somebody you're working with and what you guys are working on?
Yeah. Of course, we've worked with the Spurs as well. We have a golf tournament or several golf tournaments, so Valero has also been a great partner as well as far as sponsorship and, a number of others. So we are always out there seeking corporate sponsorship partners to, just help us get out there and serve our community. So.
Yeah, and Corey, that feel-good part of it, right, when you're kind of elbow to elbow with somebody else and you guys are working on the same thing.
Yeah, I think that for having the ability to bridge the gap between the corporate office sector, the CBD, central businesses, those individuals that normally are in an office space, a cubicle, right, every day, and to be able to come down and say, hey, look, we're going to rub elbows. We're going to work on this Habitat for Humanity project. We're going to work on some of the other foundational aspects in our area. How can we bridge that, what you guys do together? It's been very beneficial. Valero has been a great partnership for us as far as aviation program, and just hearing kind of what other corporations are doing and how we can collaborate with them as far as we grow.
And I think tying the corporations into the needs of the community, and at least that awareness. Hey, did you even know that we have a homeless problem here, or that, you know what I mean, that there are kids who are struggling with cancer that are looking for help and their parents don't have a place to stay when the kids are going through the treatment at the hospital. These types of things that businesses have no idea about, that we get the opportunity to kind of tie them in when we're doing some kind of project together.
Right. And again, I don't want to, San Antonio has experienced a massive amount of growth in the area from corporate relocations. And and things of that nature. And again, a lot of these Californian companies and others, New York-based companies, San Francisco, they do not understand. It takes a learning curve to get acclimated here as far as the policies, the procedure, and the demographics of the city, right? What is best served and what is needed, as you stated. We have historical dry areas as far as food deserts in this particular city. And so how can we bridge and leverage the food bank relationship with either Kappa Alpha Psi or a food bank relationship with some other corporate sponsor or HEB, whomever, right? HEB is local, but some of these other companies that have discretionary funds to be able to pour out into the community and to say, hey, come out, welcome to San Antonio. Thank you for the job growth, but also come out here and aid us in some of the things that we need done in the area.
So I feel like having that pulse, you guys are a great connector for, these big corporations and where in the community they can be directed to do good. But that relationship building between you who have that kind of boots on the ground relationship with the community and the localities to the corporations, I feel like a lot of people don't know or have the skills to bridge that gap because it is a skill set. What did that look like for you guys coming in as an organization in the city and building influential relationships that allow you to help at a greater scale?
I think what it looks like for us is, if you think about our fraternity and our chapter, so we have about 90 financial members in our chapter. We've got about 400 or so members of Kappa Alpha Psi in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So think about the chapter as a platform of individuals with diverse backgrounds, diverse experience, that are able to come together and be able to get out there in the community, make some connections, do some networking. But the biggest thing with us is that we're able to use sort of our manpower to get out there and do that. Mm-hmm. So if a business or a corporation really wants to impact the community, then we can be an avenue for them to partner with us to get out there and do it, because we are in the community, we know the community, and we have just the diversity and the background to do that.
So, like, if a company has more financial resources, you guys have more legs and arms ready to go do the work that need to be done out in the community. Okay, that's a real good way to put that. Actually, I picked up on it.
Yeah, a good example of that was I don't like to say the C word, but the time in which we had with the vaccinations, right?
Oh.
We have Good Health Wins, which is a platform that allowed us to reach out to do vaccinations. And so we held through the MLK walk. We allowed vaccinations, and I believe we did somewhere north of 2,000 plus vaccinations in the as we say, Black and Brown community, right? Where individuals in the city didn't quite necessarily know how to reach them, right? Because of miseducation about the vaccinations, right? But there's a trusted resource within the city, within our neighborhood, and Denver Heights is the neighborhood, if you guys aren't familiar with us, is the neighborhood, and able to get out there to say, hey, look, we're going to educate, we're going to lead the charge on how can we better serve and save our people. And that's giving informed information about the vaccines that are being given, and then giving them a location that's not out of the area, close to their house, a proximity to them. We're bringing it to them to be able to make sure that they're safe.
Cool.
Now, I've got a question on that.
Sure.
You're an organization of quite a few individuals, and it sounds like you guys kind of come together to direct your focus to certain initiatives. What does that look like? Because I'm guessing there's two parts to it, right? There's the getting the money piece and getting the resources piece, and then like deciding where to allocate those.
Sure.
So what does that process look like for you guys?
Well, if we think about sort of top down, so our national Kappa Alpha Psi, they have several programs that they have a focus on. For example, of course we've got Guide Right, we've got Kappa League, We'll talk a little bit more about those, GLAD and things like that. So once we get that top level direction, the chapters that we have within the fraternity, we're able to come in and say, okay, we're going to take that and we're going to do that at a local level.
Mm-hmm.
So as a chapter, we're going to have people designated to run this program. All right. And then that person is going to have a committee, and they will recruit people within the chapter to run that committee, make contacts in the community, and just run the whole program and try to get the resources to help us do that.
Cool. So let's learn a little bit about the background
Yeah.
On your fraternity, Andre. So you want to give us the how did it start? Give us the background there.
Okay. All right. So Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated, it was founded in January 5th, 1911. So on this January 5th, 2024, we're going to be celebrating 113 years of Kappa Alpha Psi.
Mm.
It was founded on the campus of Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. And it was founded by 10 young men. So our Kappa Alpha Psi founders, led by Elder Watson Diggs. So a little bit about the why. So during that time in Indiana and on the University of Bloomington, it was a difficult time for them. They really weren't a part of the social life of the campus. So they had common interest. They had common goals, so they came together and decided to establish this Greek letter fraternity. And what we wanted to do, what they wanted to do differently is they had a vision that it would be more than just a social organization. So when you think about a fraternity, you're thinking party, social, things like that one. But this is one that was established on the principle of achievement. And then, of course, when they started, we had several objectives. The primary objectives to unite college men of culture, patriotism, and an honor in the bond of fraternity. Another one, to encourage honorable achievement in every field of human endeavor, to promote the spiritual, social, intellectual, and moral welfare of its members, to assist the aims and purposes of college and universities, and to inspire service in the public interest.
So what drew you guys personally to this organization? You know, there's the overall goals, but what resonated with you specifically?
So I pledged as an undergraduate.
Mm-hmm.
So I pledged in April of 1987, way back. Okay, I pledged at the Epsilon Eta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi in Northeast Missouri State University, which is now Truman State University. So the official answer is, they seemed to be, I didn't know nothing about Greek life when I went to college. But they seemed to be, men of achievement, distinguishing, all that. But what I really liked about this particular fraternity and the brothers that were there then is they were just cool. I mean, they were really sharp. They were business minded. I just like how they approached everything. So that's what drove me to become a member.
I like that.
So not so much the party life didn't draw you in; it's the professionalism.
Absolutely, it did draw me in.
So
But
I like the honesty.
was there no partying at all
It was
going on?
professional
There was a lot
parties.
of parties. That's 18, 19 years old. That's gonna
Right.
happen. But the combination of having that life, but taking care of business.
Yeah, nothing wrong
That's
with
what
that.
I love.
Have fun.
I feel like you
Play
have to
hard, work
enjoy
hard.
the ride, right? Otherwise, you're always working for something that's just out of reach, and then you don't really know what to do when you get there.
Right.
It's like, what now?
Yeah.
If you're
Focus
just
and fun.
miserable. Yeah,
Do a
focus
little
and
bit of
fun.
both. What about you, Corey?
I'm a little different. So I've only been in the bond 3 years. We call it the bond. Fall 21 initiative of San Antonio Alumni Chapter under under Jimmy Chambers.
Now, did you join while you're in college or
No,
after?
so I'm the alumni brother. So there's an undergraduate, which would be
Okay.
Brother Woodard, and I'm the alumni.
See, I had no idea till you just said that.
So
Is
I
that
got
why you
now.
have different ties on?
No,
This is
That's
what we
just a
can do.
personal
Just
preference,
personal
okay?
choice. but I've been around men of Kappa Alpha Psi my entire life. My grandfather, Ed Jones, is a pivotal part of my life, and he was a Kappa man at Gamma Psi at Grambling State University. And so taught me how to tie a tie, taught me how to walk, bought me my first pair of penny loafers. You'll learn about that later. That's very important when you have your loafers. And my first pair of khakis, right? And so when you think, as a young man, I grew up wanting to aspire to be just half the man my grandfather was. And so I've always chased the ability to join the organization. However, at my university, there was no local chapter, so I was not able to do it undergrad. And so in the alumni chapter, the standards are a little different. You have to have achieved and continue achievement in order to be voted in the process. And I was very fortunate this go around to be selected. So,
What does achieved look like?
Achievement.
Yeah, like to get into the alumni association, what type of achievements are you guys looking for?
Well, of course, you have to have a degree, but we're looking for, what have you done in your career? What have you done in your career? Educational achievements, just demonstrating that you are serving the community and that you've done something special, basically. But there is an interesting dynamic. So I pledged as an undergraduate in the chapter, and he went in as the alumni chapter. But I joined this alumni chapter in 2016. So the progression is we are looking for people that join the undergrad chapter to eventually join the alumni chapter, whatever city they're in. So,
Gotcha, because people move around,
it's
right?
a lifelong commitment.
Yeah.
If you decided you're stationed, if you're for the military audience, here we are in San Antonio. You end up pledging at San Antonio alumni, but you get stationed in Dubai. There's a Dubai chapter. Japan, there's a Japan alumni chapter. We want to be that familiar face in the community, and it's a lifelong commitment. And so it's from the undergraduate, brother. Again, this is 25 years, difference here. But we're still here at one point by one dreamer's, our founder and his dream to kind of be together and to push this forward. And so we're here.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what you guys are doing in the community. So there's a program called Guide Right. What is that?
Yeah, Guy Right is our youth initiative program. We're just very proud. Sorry, my face lights up when I hear about that.
Yeah.
So we have, under the direction of Brother Son C, is the Guide Right program. And again, getting back to that question of how things are, is a committee. It's purposefully and taskfully done, and to get those resources done. It's essentially, we have a student right now in every ISD in San Antonio. In the Guide Right program, we have currently about 75 Guide Right members, and young men, again, all over San Antonio. And what we hope to do there is, for the business people, is create a pipeline, right? We want to train them up. We want to, and what's training stands for, we want to make sure that they have the tools necessary to make a decision whether to go to college, not go to college, to pursue, that sport, that whatever the case may be, and to show them the etiquette, the tying of the ties, how to eat properly, how to open doors, right? Those things that they may not know how to do, and some do, but just understand that they have a foundation, and to be that constant interaction as a positive male role model.
Okay. So over 6,000 youth currently enrolled in Kappa League programs?
Correct. Nationwide, with a graduation rate, high school graduation rate of 98% and a college acceptance rate of 88%.
Nice. And 3 Kappa Leaguers have been awarded the Bill Gates Millennium Scholarship. What's
Correct.
that about?
STEM research.
STEM research. All right, cool. And STEM is science,
technology,
engineering, and math.
Engineering, math. Yeah.
Okay. There's another one now, arts. They call it STEAM now or something like that. Yeah, somebody's trying to change it. It's not me.
The arts were like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you forgot about the arts.
Someone always has to have their spin on it.
It is
right?
2023. There has to be inclusion
there has to be
on everything.
Why just them? We think with our left and right side.
So let's dig a little bit more into the Guide Right program.
Sure,
Give me some examples of specifics of what you guys do.
So right now, there's a few things. We have a what we call a career enhancement portion, and what we do is we take every one of the young men and we ask them what their interests are, and we're trying to pair them with, while they're in the organization, with either a local business or a Kappa mentor. That can show them and expose them to that very early on. And so for myself, I'm in data science. And so we work with young men who are interested in that particular program. But there are some that may be interested in drywall, barber colleges. And so we have a Kappa who owns a local barbershop. And so trying to get them that kind of exposure. We want to make sure that, and I guess the purpose here is we want to make sure that as mentors, that we can align them in the community with whatever their little minds, hearts want to do and achieve, because that's what we're pushing here. Okay. And so, and then we may fall short in some of those areas, but that's why we're here, is for that construction company that knows how to do drywall, and we have someone interested. We want to be able to bridge that gap to those who may be interested in that industry.
Well,
it's about an opportunity.
And I've said this before on here, but I think what's interesting, if you look at case studies of successful, high achieving people, usually it comes down to a story of one person. They met one person that changed the way they think, or they heard a story about one person that gave them a whole new thought process to the possibilities in life. So how are you finding these students? Because I feel like for this type of program to be successful, they have to be open to it and ready to kind of take that step into opening their mind to all that you guys have to offer.
So word of mouth and reputation. Over the last 3 years, we've had a 175% increase of the Guide Right program. And so we're trying to be intentional, to be out in the ISDs. We meet with the local business. Brother Scott sets up this meeting with the education city, and we speak. We go to their meetings and events and things of that nature, to be able to know what's going on in the district first and foremost, seeing where the district is having issues, and then trying to reach out to those segments and say, hey, look, we can assist in certain areas. But in short, we want to just being visible. The red jacket is not by accident. It's to stand out, right? And so you there won't be any distinguishing. If you don't remember Kappa Alpha Psi, you remember those guys with the red jacket taught me something, and then you'll find out what the red jacket means later.
How are you guys funded? So, I mean, your business. You guys said that earlier.
Correct.
So I think it's fair that I can ask the question: How? What is it? Donations? Is it? How do you guys?
I'll yield that to the former KOE.
I spent some time as the treasurer of the chapter. I'm the vice Mark, now vice president. We're primarily funded by the dues of our members. That is the baseline funding that we have our operational budget. But when it's time to do some of these big events for Guide Right and Kappa League, like college tours and the signing day and things like that, that takes a lot of funds. So we have to put on programs, events, things of that nature to get the funds to be able to do this. And with that, we have to rely on sponsorships, donation from the chapter itself, donation from people that know us, direct donations from the corporate sponsors we talked about earlier, but just really just having sponsors to help us do the activities or put on the events, that's where a lot of the funding comes from.
So if there's a special program or event that's going to be going on, you would go out to big corporate sponsors and try to get funds.
Yeah,
and then
if we're going to do a golf tournament, and say, okay, we need that corporate sponsor for the golf tournament. We need people to sponsor holes, things like that. So in that way, it's not just, hey, give us some money and we'll think of something to do with it.
Right.
It is
focused.
This is what this is for. It's very focused. This is the activity. There's going to be a lot of visibility for that corporation, for that business, and we're just going to have a great time doing it.
Now, are you guys nonprofit or for-profit?
Nonprofit.
Nonprofit.
Yeah.
Okay. Good
Now,
to know.
we're not an official 501c3 nonprofit. Now, we do have a separate San Antonio Alumni Kappa Foundation. So the chapter is one entity that's kind of a nonprofit, but the foundation is another. So we partner together where a corporate sponsor can give to our foundation, get the tax deduction, but then earmark those funds for the programs that are run by the chapter.
I see.
So it's a good partnership.
Yeah, and you guys are a franchise, so you pay in franchise fees, right, up to the
Well,
main.
we all have to pay dues to our national.
Yeah.
So that's our franchise.
Yeah, it's
fee,
like the
basically.
Chick-fil-A model. right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
And if I can, I understand the altruistic nature. I've run into you guys at chamber events and heard about all the programs. I think it's wonderful, but I'm guessing there's some other benefits beyond just being able to pour into the community. Do you have any stories or personal experiences of, you came into this organization and it's not your probably main income source, how that's affected your business or your life outside of just being able to give to charities and mentor kids?
Well,
Go ahead.
yeah. For me, it sounds like a full-time job. It's more of a part-time job, I guess you could say that. But the brotherhood is what we sell, and I think that's I know it sounds very cliche, but that's really what it is.
Mhm.
I have, we call them line brothers or members who were brought in at the exact same time. I was having a hard time with a job I wanted to switch, and that person being a corporate communication specialist, redid my resume to where I got the job that I have now, which is an associate director, assistant director, predictive analytics. And so just having, and that brother had known me, 3 months, right? And it's just being able to bridge those things together and be able to lean on each other, to link up, to be together, to know that, hey, look, we're here together, and if you need something, let me make a call if I know someone. That's very, very important to us as a fraternity, and I think that's why 25 years later, Brother Whitaker is still active today, and we have 50-year members. We have, Brother Alvin Brown. We have Brother Kelly, Ralph Kelly, who've been in the bond since the 50s, who are still coming around, still helping out. You can't tell them to sit down because they see the impact in the community. And being able to call those individuals a phone call away to be able to say, hey, Brother Brown, Brother Kelly, you want to go golfing today? You want to think about that? Sure, I got time. To be able to get that wisdom is very important. And then you can't put a dollar amount on that, at least for me.
Well, if somebody wants to be involved with this program,
Sure.
So what are the qualifications to be involved? Do you have to be in college? Do you have to be in a certain, how do you get in?
Into the fraternity, college degree, and then we have an open application process to be involved. Now, we put out any community service events that anyone can attend a community service event. So we just had visits and vaccinations at a local church, and then we can put that out. If you decide you want to come, you can let us know that you're coming via the chapter's Facebook or Instagram or whatever the case may be. We'll give contact information later. And we'll be more than happy to take as many can. We're running around.
But for the youth to benefit from this type of
Sure.
program, how are they getting involved? What does that look like from the start? Are they in college? Is that where it starts, or is it high school? Or
So no, they start very young. So we have in our guide writing Kappa League, we start them from the ages of 8 to 18.
Okay.
And so anywhere from that area, they can parent. Mom, dad reaches out via email to the director. We have an enrollment period to where they can application process. And then there's a small fee, I think maybe like $125 to pay for their. They have a jacket as well. It's not red, but they have a jacket as well.
what color is the jacket?
Is the jacket red or cream?
Isn't it kind of like a burgundy?
Yeah, it's like a darker maroon, and it has Kappa League on there. It's really nice. Picked up.
I
and
love
they have,
kids in
they have their
blazer.
ties. We have
think those
pictures
are
all
sharp.
over.
Looks so sharp.
But and then from there, again, just like the parent chapter, what interest does that child have? Mom, dad, do you know, right? And if they don't know, we'll build that relationship with that child to see what their interests are, and then we'll kind of tailor it from there. And so from 8 to graduation, we're there, and then that leads into scholarships. We offer scholarships for our graduates as well, and that's where we host a college signing day, because most of our children end up going on to colleges and universities.
And is that when they would say, okay, I want to be part of the fraternity, if that college has a chapter?
So exactly. So if they have this experience with us as the youth, they go into college knowing so much because of their experience with us. So, of course, then that's their opportunity to say, well, I'm a freshman in college. If I've got so many credit hours and my grade point is okay, they can apply to be a member of Kappa Alpha Psi while they're in college. And then upon graduation from college, wherever they land, we've got, over 700 chapters across the country, international. Wherever they land, they can find an alumni chapter like this one to be a part of.
Right, and they can start giving back.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, and I think a huge takeaway for me from this is just the community of it. In school, you're forced to be in school, so you've got to force to create a community. In college, you're almost, but after college, I used to hear it all the time. People had a hard time making friends, and in a digital world, we can just be on our screens, remote work, and then after the C word happened,
Right.
even more so isolating. So having a way to get plugged into a community of like-minded individuals that can help you grow as well is huge. And I think everyone's kind of searching for that, but there's a different mindset to saying I'm going to apply for it and it's worth the money I pay into it to be a part of it.
Absolutely.
Anything we missed? Did you guys want to get on the floor as we wrap up?
No.
If someone is interested, or any corporate sponsor or business that they want to partner, they can send us an email at info@sanantonionoops.org. And we'll monitor that email. We'll reach out to them, and what we'll try to do is we'll do some discovery and say, okay, what are you looking for to impact the community? And then we'll take one of our programs and say, okay, this is how it plugs in, and kind of customize something for them.
How do you spell noops?
NUPES.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's our nickname. So we're Kappa men, but we call each other noobs. Yeah. And I don't want to get into the details.
You got to know to know, okay?
A term of endearment, or is it an acronym? Or
It's a term of endearment. Just like I'm a Marine, so I'll call other Marines, hey, devil dog, Semper Fi, things like that. With us, it's, hey, noob. And that comes from our other Greek letters called Phi, Nu, Pi. The two of those have that noob sound, so that's where it comes from.
All right.
Cool. All right, so if folks want to get in touch with you guys, San Antonio Noops?
Yeah, info@sanantonionoops.org.
Okay, and the website?
sanantonionoops.org.
All right, got it.
Or Facebook, San Antonio Noops, on Facebook as well.
All right.
I'm really glad I asked you guys how to spell that. Otherwise, we would have.
NUPES, right?
NUPES. I love it.
It's easy. You got it.
Right.
All right, guys. Well, great job. I appreciate it. Did you guys say this was the first time podcast?
Yeah.
First time.
Yes.
Both of them? Well, great job. All right, as a wrap
We
of
got
the show,
voices for it.
quick reminder to check out our latest podcast or catch video version of the show anytime by visiting our website at satalkradio.com. That's going to be it for this show. Thanks, everybody. Great job. And we'll see you on the next one.